welcome to Argyle TV this evening. It has been an incredibly sad few days for our country following the death of Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. It saddened us all. The Queen was such a constant in our lives, 70 years of service, 70 years reigning on the throne, and she led the country with dignity, class and grace. We at Argyle TV, along with all of you watching at home, I'm sure, are saddened by her passing, and our thoughts are of course with the royal family at this time. After a postponement of matches at the weekend, though, we are back here this evening, Tuesday night, at Home Park for Oxford United, taking on, of course, the Greens, Plymouth Argyle. And a repeat of last season's results would go down very nicely, I'm sure. Hello, good evening and welcome back to Argyle TV. We are welcoming Oxford United this evening to the Theatre of Greens, and Argyle are of course hoping to continue their fine run of form with their visit tonight. And we've got plenty for you to soak up before kick-off. We will be building the atmosphere over the next hour or so with lots to look at for you this evening. Just a few examples coming up are hearing from the skipper, Joe Edwards, who hopes Argyle's recent form can get them over the line tonight. Stephen Schumacher will also be talking about how the players coped without a game on Saturday and how he's plotting to get one over on Oxford this evening. And of course, Neil Dewsnip will be joining us later to talk about a successful transfer window at Home Park. All of that, plus, of course, we will be bringing you the team news so you can find out who's playing this evening. And helping me to guide through all of it this evening is former Argyle women's captain, Katie Middleton. Katie, just been passed some interesting news about yourself this evening because it's your birthday today.
It is, yes.
What are you doing here on your birthday?
Supporting the Greens,
obviously. I mean, where there is no better birthday, surely, right?
Coming for 3 points, that's what we're here for.
I feel like now that they know there's a special occasion happening this evening.
We're on for a top performance tonight.
We're on for a top performance, absolutely. Obviously, you know, despite today being a day of celebration for yourself, it has been a difficult week for the country, for the world, in fact. And I know a lot of people were missing football over the weekend. What's your view been on it over the past few days, and are you looking forward to, like you said, being able to be here with all the Argyle fans this evening?
Yeah, obviously it's been a sad few days, and like I said, for the whole of the world really to mourn the Queen. But you know, ultimately, it was a shame that the football was off at the weekend, but I think that was the right decision for people to be able to do what they wanted to do in terms of paying their respects. And it's good to be back here again tonight with the game so quickly after that, and get back to, I guess, a bit of normality as much as possible.
And there will, of course, be opportunities for people to pay their respects during the match this evening as well, which I think is a nice touch. Tonight, though, of course, Oxford United against Argyle. What are you expecting from this evening's match? It should be quite an exciting one to look forward to,
Yeah,
right?
It should be. It's two teams that are in good form. They've both had a good run of games. I think 3 on the bounce for both of them now. And, Oxford will bring experience. They've played at this level for a good length of time. They've got an experienced manager at this level, and we know they'll be competitive. So, hoping for a good quality performance from both sides, but fingers crossed for an Argyle win.
Yeah, and the way the fixtures have panned out this season, there's not actually been that many games on a Tuesday night here at Home Park for us. We're mostly away on the Tuesdays, so I think this is kind of one of the few chances to see the fans here in the evening under the floodlights, soaking up the atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a good atmosphere here, and particularly playing under the floodlights is hoping, like I say, for a decent performance and hopefully a good crowd for a Tuesday evening.
Yeah, and hopefully the weather stays nice. It's a bit rainy all day, as people may have noticed. You'll see there the rain coming down, and we're obviously up here in the gantry tonight. But does the weather have that much of an impact on the players, really? I suppose they just want to put a good shift in.
Yeah, exactly. They're more than used to it, aren't they? They train, play in the rain, and it doesn't make much difference. And actually, it will probably put a little bit of zip on the pitch tonight and make for a fast-flowing game of football. Both teams will try and get the ball on the floor and play. So. I don't think they'll be too concerned about the rain.
Yeah, well, as mentioned, Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday was postponed, but if we rewind back to the weekend before that, that was, I think, one of those incredible days, wasn't it? Our 3rd straight win, and a very memorable one indeed. Just in case you forgot, let's have a little look at it all over again.
Mayer into Whittaker. That's a first-time ball out to the left-hand side, and Joe Edwards is scampering to keep it in play. He looks up, tries to play a low ball into the box. Mayer then weaves his way into the penalty area, pulls it back. Butcher strikes it goalwards. Oh, it's a good save from Wildsmith. Galloway just put under pressure there by McGoldrick. I don't think he knew he was there. McGoldrick running clear into Collins, into the middle. Left-footed strike from him, goes past Cooper and in. And Derby take the lead. Involved a lot in the last few moments. Danny Mayer, Lonvik. Oh, it's a lovely pass to find Whittaker on the right-hand side. Can he find Hardy in the middle? Pulls it back. Edwards is there. What a block. What an incredible block off the line. Bird. He plays it into Mendes-Lang. Step over into the box. Brilliant from Mendes-Lang. He scores. It's a brilliant goal from Nathaniel Mendes-Lang. How he got away from the Argyle defenders, I won't know, but it was a great bit of skill. Butcher. Now Randall. 35 yards from goal. He looks up. Hits it right-footed. What a save that is away to his left by Joe Wildsmith. Approaching the edge of the penalty area, early cross into the middle, headed clear by Stearman, back out to Butcher. Here's Whittaker! Oh, he scored! Forward by Thompson, picked up by Houghton, now Azaz. Again, he's got a little pocket of space. That's a lovely pass. Ennis free on the left-hand side. Cosgrove is in the middle. Finds Cosgrove! Cosgrove scores! On his debut! Can you believe it? It's only his 2nd touch in an Argyle shirt, and Argyle have come from 2 down and are now level with Derby County. 2-2 at Pride Park. Cashin under pressure from Cosgrove, who's going to get there before Cashin. Inside the penalty area, Cosgrove has scored! Can you believe it?
Oh my goodness.
Argyle have come from 2-0 down, and the new man, Sam Cosgrove, has got 2, which has given them the lead.
A nice refresher there of a triumphant match for Argyle against Derby. It didn't look like it was going to end that way to begin with, did it, Katie?
No, definitely not. I mean, they'll have been disappointed to go in 2-0 down at half-time, and I think the goals that they conceded, they'll look back on those and think they could have done better individually. I think for the first one, Galloway got caught on the ball. They punished them, and then it was a good finish for the second goal. But again, defensively, probably could have done a bit better. But that shows the resilience, the mentality of the side that Stephen Schumacher's put together here to be able to turn that around and ultimately go on to win the game at the end.
Yeah, I mean, when you're 2-0 down, and then you come back with with a 3-2 win like that after half-time. What kind of conversations are being had in the changing room during half-time?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very much a case of, they had chances in the first half, they created opportunities, and I think, like I said, it would have been a case of saying, let's cut out those mistakes where we've conceded, but let's keep doing what we're doing in terms of going forwards. We've created opportunities. It's just a little bit of luck potentially going your way, and go out there and try and get an early goal in the second half, and things change, and that's exactly what happened.
And Sam Cosgrove in particular, we've got to mention, because that was his debut for Argyle. You can't really get a better debut than that, can you?
No, I think the first goal was his second touch maybe in an Argyle shirt. But it's good because it gives us more options again now, and there's competition for places all over the pitch, and he adds to that with being another striker who can score goals, and he'll give us something a little bit different to the likes of Hardy, who's up there already.
Yeah.
Cosgrove's a big guy.
He is, isn't he? A big presence on the top of the pitch.
He'll hold the ball up, I think, and sometimes that's what we need, particularly in the formation that we're playing currently with that one up top. So yeah, I mean, great start. Let's hope he continues and scores many more goals for us. And
the timing in particular of that final goal there, right at the very end of the match, that is, I suppose, if you're a travelling fan and you're going up to see, you want end to end, don't you? And that really would have been the icing on the cake.
Yeah, and like you say, you as a fan, you want excitement and you want to see goals, and that's exactly what they got on Saturday. And to score a 90 plus whatever minute winner, to send the away fans, crazy is great, and that's what being a football fan's all about.
I think so. Hopefully we'll see some more action tonight that will remind everyone what football is all about. And of course, today is a new day and it's a new game, and it is a tough one. But Stephen Schumacher sat down with Charlie Price earlier to talk about it.
Slightly kind of different build-up to today. Sad news of the passing of Her Majesty the Queen at the end of last week meant we didn't have a game. We're looking forward to a match on Tuesday. But what have the last few days been for you and for the players?
Yeah, well, from a footballing point of view, from our perspective, it was obviously quite difficult because we had to change plans right at the last minute. We were on the training pitch going through the set plays for Sheffield Wednesday on Friday when we got the call that the game would be off, so we had to cut them short. Obviously the decision was made by the Premier League and the EFL that all the football games up and down the country and the grassroots games would all be off, and as a mark of respect, so that was taken out of our hands. So last minute we had to adapt. Good that the players are adaptable. They're a group who don't moan about things and they get on with it, and everybody sort of understood the sentiment behind it, the game's getting called off. So it was quite difficult on then Saturday to bring the players in and try and get them up for a training session and get going at the tempo that we really wanted to play at. We had an in-house game. That was a bit slow for the first half of it, as you can imagine, but it got better. But it just felt weird because we should be playing Sheffield Wednesday, and then we rested. Sunday is what we would normally do, and we've planned today as normal for Oxford. But there has been a subdued atmosphere, I would say, over the weekend. But today it was okay. Yeah,
I suppose today would have always been that focus on Oxford anyway, so it kind of starts afresh as a new week potentially.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a Monday though. It was weird coming in the car park this morning because we hadn't played at the weekend. Everyone was just a little bit off kilter, if that's the word, but it was just, again, something we've just got to adapt to as a coaching staff and as a group of players, and say fully focused on trying to prepare as best as we can for a really hard game against Oxford.
Yeah, it is going to be really hard, isn't it? They're a side that over the last, I think they've made the playoffs 2 out of the last 3 years. They always seem to be right up there.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough game, isn't it?
It is. They've got top quality players with bags and bags of talent throughout the squad. They play loads of good football, and then they've also got a really experienced manager who knows what it's like at the top end of League One in Carl Robinson. So we always have tough games against them. Last year we came out on top in both of them, but they were hard fought, both victories, and I'm sure this season will be no different. I think it's two teams that the styles sort of blend quite well. It's always a good entertaining game of football, and I'm sure it'll be no different tomorrow.
What sort of game are you expecting from them? Because they've hit form in the last couple of weeks. I think they've won 3 on the bounce, similar to us, obviously, after a slower start for them. What are you expecting from them on Tuesday?
Yeah, so they've sort of changed shape a little bit. I think they've got a little bit of injuries throughout the squad, so that might be one of the reasons why, as you mentioned, they had a slower start. They played Derby County on the opening day, I think, and then have played teams sort of down towards the bottom end of the division, which is always tough games because they can be quite scrappy. But as you say, they're in good form. They've won the last 3. We know that coming here, they're going to be motivated. They haven't played the weekend, obviously, so they'll be rested and fresh and ready to go. And we know it won't be an easy game. They're, as you said at the start, they're always up there challenging at the top end of the table at the end of the season, and I'm sure they'll be no different this year. So we're going to have to be at our best, as we always are, and yeah, put in a really good performance.
On us, because of that form, team selection headaches for you? Good team selection headaches for you?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, it's really hard to pick the team at the moment, and there's a lot of disappointed people at times thinking, I feel as though I'm playing well and should be playing, and I've got to then try and explain to them the reasons why we've picked that sort of team. So, but I'm confident that whatever team we do pick, they're doing as best as they can, the starting 11, and I'm also confident that the subs can come on and change the game if necessary, or secure the game and see it out. So we're in a good place with the squad. The majority of the players are fit. We've only got a couple of injuries who are getting closer to being back in the fold, which is good. And yeah, we're in a decent place, so we've got to try and keep it going as long as we can.
Argyle's manager Stephen Schumacher there. Now let's have a little look at today's side then, see who comprises your starting 11. Tonight we have Michael Cooper, Macaulay Gillespie, Dan Scarr, Matt Butcher, Joe Edwards, Ryan Hardy, Danny Mayer, Barley Mumba, Finn Azaz, Adam Randall and Nigel Lonvike, and the substitutions consisting of the likes of Callum Burton, Jordan Houghton, James Wilson, Niall Ennis, Sam Cosgrove, Morgan Whitaker and Brendan Galloway. I think this lineup this evening, well, as always, to be honest, Katie, it really emphasises the breadth and depth that Argyle have got amongst the squad and the options they've got to play with, hasn't it?
Yeah, most definitely. And I think after, obviously, a positive result against Derby a couple of weekends ago, for them to make a couple of changes, freshen things up, it certainly shows that they've got options and different players available to play in different positions, which probably gives Schumacher a headache, but at the same time I think it's a good one. It's one he wants to have. So.
Yeah. I think we've had those kind of conversations before. It's like, if you were going to have a headache, that is absolutely the one you want. And of course, looking at the lineup as well, it feels like there's competition in all areas of the field, isn't there? You got competition in the midfield, competition up front with the strikers. No one's guaranteed a place, are
yeah,
they?
And I think that's really good. And I think from Argyle's perspective, it means that the players that have got the shirts have to earn to keep that. They're being pushed all the way by players that are on the bench and obviously want to be playing. So it's only going to do the players good to have that competition, and like you say, all over the pitch really there's definitely competition for places. You know, like we said, we've brought in Cosgrove now as another option up front. There's kind of that rotation between the midfield 3. Jordan Houghton misses out tonight, but Butcher and Randall have both done a good job in there, and they'll be looking to be solid again tonight. I think Oxford have got potential threats in midfield that we need to try and snuff out as much as we can.
Yeah. Well, if we'll bring up the Oxford squad on the screen now for everyone at home to have a little look at. Who are you picking out amongst those is the ones to watch?
So I think the main one is probably Brannigan, who plays in midfield. He's already scored, I think, 6 goals for them this season. Yeah. You know, he's a Liverpool youngster and has played a decent standard, so he's the main one that I think we need to be wary of tonight and try and stop. And Joseph, their striker, again, he's got his confidence back in recent weeks. He's scored a few goals, so it's trying to snuff out those threats as much as we can. You know, we haven't conceded a goal yet here during the season, so hopefully the pressure's on now, boys. Yeah. But yeah, fingers crossed if we can keep another clean sheet, then you know Schumacher will be really happy with that.
Yeah. And football fans may be aware, having seen that lineup a moment ago, names like Matty Taylor and Elliot Moore not appearing, some high-profile injuries from Oxford. Do you think that's something that's going to be weighing a little bit heavier on them?
I think it can go one of two ways. Either, you know, they can dwell on that and say, do you know what, we haven't got our full-strength side. But on the flip side of that, again, the players that are being given those opportunities to pull the shirt on, need to prove that they're able to do that. And I think so far over obviously the last few games, in terms of Oxford's performances, they've done that well. So we'll probably be hoping for the flip side of that tonight. But they've got youngsters playing who've been given opportunities, and they want to show what they can do at this level.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned, of course, not to tempt fate, about Argyle keeping this clean sheet, not wanting to concede a goal here at home. It is worth mentioning that it's Michael Cooper's 100th league appearance this evening, which we'll get into a little bit more with Neil very shortly. But I mean, that is a testament to him, his character, his ability, and still such a young player, isn't he?
100%. And as a local person myself, you want to see local players coming through and doing well. And I think, like you said, it's testament to him. It's also testament to the club in terms of the academy structure and bringing these players through that are good enough to play at this level and compete regularly. And obviously, we wish Michael Cooper well in his 100th appearance. And like you say, hope we can get another clean sheet.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be one of the main ones facing up against Brannigan alongside the likes of Dan Scarr and Gillespie. But he's used to that kind of pressure, isn't he? He's more than used to it, as are our defensive lineup.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, he's shown out here on this pitch a number of times that he can be the match winner for us at times. I think you look back a couple of weeks ago when we played at home, he made a great save that probably won us the game in the end. So fingers crossed, another performance like that.
So finally then, what are you expecting today? How do you think Argyle are going to win the game?
I think it'll be a tight game, but I think we'll be looking to exploit their wide areas as much as we can, get the likes of Barley Mumba and Joe Edwards on the ball as high up the pitch as we can, look to be positive, be nice and solid defending, and look to create as many chances as we can.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Katie. Worth mentioning as well, for those of you who are watching at home, we would love to hear from you this evening. As always, you can get in touch with us at Argyle on Twitter. There's also all sorts of social media as well. Send us a tweet, send us a message, let us know what you're thinking in the run-up to today's match. Let us know how you're feeling, who your favourite players are, or what you're doing, or where you're watching from. We always get our watchers from all over the world here on Argyle TV, which is very, very nice to see. And if you are watching, wherever you're watching from now, I'm pleased to announce that we are going to be joined by our next guest, Neil Dewsnip, who is stood over here looking resplendent in your Argyle tie. How are you, Neil?
I'm very good, Erin, thank you. I'm checking my tie, aren't I now?
Yeah, I was going to say, very, very nice. Goes well with the suit, I must say. And I see you've got a nice pin badge on there as well.
Well, it's because we won on the first day of the season.
Oh, okay.
That Zach Newton said, you need to wear it every game, Neil. So
Is that
I didn't wear it at Charlton Athletic, so I think he's got a point.
Okay, right, yeah, well, you definitely keep that on today, Neil.
Yeah.
Neil, we've got a milestone tonight. Just mentioned it to Katie. Michael Cooper making his 100th league start. How impressive is that?
That's incredibly impressive on a number of levels. First of all, for somebody his age to be able to do that is a wow factor. The fact that he's a goalkeeper at such a young age, with all the pressures that come with that, it makes it even more amazing, I think. So, just fantastic, really.
Yeah, it's worth focusing on that point that you make about him being a goalkeeper in particular, because that can sometimes be quite a solitary role, isn't it? You are often separated, from the squad. If it's going well, you might not see the ball at all, but it's a lot of pressure to have on your shoulders too if things go badly.
Yeah, I think from a point of view of concentration, really. Very often, thankfully, so far this season, the ball has been at the other end of the field. But when it comes into Michael's penalty area, if it's a set play, for example, then he's got to be really, really focused. And that's not easy. That's not easy for the top goalkeepers who are very experienced.
Yeah.
So for Michael to have done that continuously over 100 games consecutively, I just think it's an amazing achievement.
Yeah, I think it's testament to him as a player when you hear the chants of Michael Cooper is one of our own coming out of the Devonport end. But as the director of football yourself, Neil, seeing other players like Adam Randall, for example, coming through, that must really please you as well.
Very much so. I mean, this is one of the things at Argyle that we're hoping to do more and more and more. So you highlight obviously Michael and Adam, but there are other young players who've already played this season, and others, without giving names away, of course, I'm putting them under too much pressure, that are ready to come in the very near future.
And stepping away from the young players that have been maybe coming up through Argyle's academies, transfer window as well. Transfer window is done. How did you feel it went?
Well, I think it went really, really well. I think the danger is everybody focuses on the last couple of days. Well, of course, we started very, very early. I think Matt Butcher would have been our first signing. I think that's right. So over the period of time, we're really delighted. And finishing with Sam Cosgrove scoring 2 goals at Derby County.
Yeah.
You'd have thought we'd have planned it that way, hey?
Talk to me about Sam Cosgrove a little bit, because that was probably one of the most impactful debuts from a new footballer coming into the club.
Amazing. I'm tempted to say I've known Sam since he was about that big as a young player at Everton.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was ever that big.
He was
never that big. No, Sam is someone whose career I've obviously followed over the years. He's maybe just lost his way a little bit recently in the last couple of years, but he has undoubted talent.
Yeah.
And I hope that Stephen, obviously with another Everton connection, we can find a relationship there that can bring it out of him and benefit Argyle.
Yeah, and do you think Argyle is the kind of place that can nurture a player like Sam and bring him back to where he wants and should be?
I hope so, and I think so. We pride ourselves on the environment being very developmental. It's not just about the players getting better, the staff have to get better. So we're all working very hard together.
Yeah, absolutely. And tonight, what are you expecting? We've obviously had the postponement of the weekend's match, so the players have had a little bit more time maybe to prepare for tonight's game, but it's not going to be an easy one. Oxford United, of course. What are you looking forward to, looking for and expecting?
Well, I'm expecting an outstanding game of football first and foremost. We know that we have a lovely attacking style, which we've evidenced, I think, over the last few games. And Oxford United also bring that flavour to the game. So if it ends maybe 3-2 to us or 4-3 to us, I wouldn't be too surprised.
I think after last time, a 3-2's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah, that would be good.
Whatever margin we can put between ourselves and the opposition is always good.
As long as we can keep winning, hey?
Well, exactly. And you've got your pin on, so I've got my fingers crossed. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Neil. I hope you don't get too wet watching the game. I think the weather should clear up for the rest of the evening.
Hope so. Thanks,
enjoy
Ellen.
it.
Thank
you, Neil.
Bye-bye.
If you want to see more of Neil Dewsnip, of course, then he is actually on this week's Argyle podcast, and that is available to listen to now. All you need to do is go over to Argyle TV or any of your podcast streaming services. We are now just over half an hour away from kickoff, and we have got another guest here on Argyle TV joining us very soon. It will be Romain Lario, so stay tuned for that.
Bad ball in, good
But before we chase down Romain and get him up here to the gantry with us, let's have a little talk with our captain, Joe Edwards. He has played in every single game so far this season, and he scored the winner in the game last time out. Last time out. He sat down with Argyle TV to discuss the last few days from a player's point of view.
Obviously a difficult few days for the country, really, with the news of the death of the Queen. And it meant that a lot of things changed over the weekend. Just from your perspective, how did you feel the country kind of dealt with Her Majesty's death?
Yeah, obviously it's a sad time for a lot of people, and people like to pay their respects in different ways. Like I said, I'm sure many people would have wanted to carry on as normal and done it that way. And obviously we've got the funeral to come up where you can really do that. But it shows how great our country is at times when things that happen like this. People do come together, and like I said, it is a great place to be. And like I said, we can we can all pay our respects to the Queen, and she's a fantastic person and led this country well. So yeah.
It obviously meant that our game wasn't played on Saturday, but you guys were in, weren't you?
Yeah, so we trained Saturday morning instead and had an in-house game, which was great. But like I said, for myself personally, it would have been nice to still play in the game on Saturday and pay our respects that way, and in front of a packed house. It would have been great. But like I said, that was taken out of our hands, and we respect the decision. And like I said, we're focused now on the next game. But yeah, it was a strange couple of days.
That next game you mentioned is here against Oxford. How do you see it? How do you see them at the moment?
Yeah, they're always a tough team to play. They've got good players. I feel like the last couple of years they always haven't started great, but they always come good, and like I said, their quality comes through, and we know it's going to be a tough game again. We've had some good games over the years, and I think this will be no different. We're in a good run of form. Like I said, we're very confident at home, and we hope we continue that.
Memories of your goal here last season as well?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a very tight game, that one, and like I said, it could have gone either way. At the time, it was very important for us, and we wanted to win that. And like I said, it was nice to get the winner on the day, and if we can do that again tomorrow, it'll be even better. You
mentioned about them kind of clicking into gear, and you can see that in their recent results. They've won their last 3 in all competitions. They're beginning to climb that table again. They've finished in the playoffs 2 out of the last 3 seasons. So they are one of those top tier teams in this league, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and like I said, they have done that. I think the last couple of years they haven't started great, and then like I said, they do click and come through. They've got a good manager in charge and knows the way he wants to play and gets his players playing. So yeah, for us we've got to concentrate, make sure we're at 100% to deal with their threats, and like I said, we can and then play our game, and it should be a good game. Should be a good game of football, and hopefully one that we come on top of.
Yeah, we are playing well as well at the moment, though, aren't we? I mean, it's really clicking for us at the moment.
It is, yeah. Like I said, we are confident going into games at the moment. We're playing well. Lots of competition for places, so boys are performing to try and stay in the team. And no, it is good. And like I said, we want to keep playing and keep winning games and doing well. And we know we've got a tough period. We're in the middle of a tough period at the moment. So like I said, the more points we can pick up in this, the better. So like I said, if we can maintain their threats and concentrate on ourselves, we should be okay.
A chat with Joe Edwards there ahead of this evening's game against Oxford United here at Home Park. I'm sure you'll see, you might even be able to hear behind me, the atmosphere is slowly building tonight. Pilgrim Pete down there, I can never escape him. It doesn't matter if I'm in the gantry, it doesn't matter if I'm down on the side of the pitch. Pilgrim Pete is always there. We'll be catching up to our guest shortly, but let's have a little look through some of your social comments first. I did ask you to get in touch just a few moments ago. All the social information is running along the bottom of your screen now. Do send us a message. I'm pleased to say that one of our regular contributors has got in touch once more. And it is, I need to know I've got the Twitter handle, but they never tell me their real name. So Tatsumaki Bones, if you're watching, which I know you are, let us know what we can call you properly, because they've just sent a tweet in saying that it is currently 2:10 a.m. Japan time, and Argyle TV is all set. So if that's not dedication, I don't know what is. But thank you very much for watching in Japan. I would say so far our visitor from furthest afield. We've also got a tweet in from Dane Bunny, who is saying football is back, but making sure to mention that it is a rather wet Home Park this evening. Hopefully, like me and Katie discussed earlier, though, the players will be able to bring a little bit of joy beyond the miserable weather. Scott Williamson has also got in touch with us on Twitter to let us know that while he can't make it tonight, he is wishing good luck to the lads, because it is, of course, Home Park night under the lights. And a final comment to read out here quickly from Hayley Borman, saying, after an emotional weekend, I'm looking forward to paying my respects tonight at Argyle and Oxford United. And it's interesting that that's mentioned by Hayley there, because we will just point out that this evening at Argyle we will be having a minute's silence for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who sadly passed away last week. And following that, everyone will be invited to join in for a rendition of the national anthem too. So nice that Home Park and Argyle, like many football clubs up and down the country, joining in to pay their respects to Her late Majesty there. So thank you everyone who's got in touch so far this evening. Keep them coming in. Up next we'll be getting a reminder of the team news, so stay tuned for that. Katie Middleton is back with me up here on the gantry. Can't find Roman yet, but I'm sure he'll appear at some point or another. If not, we'll try and hunt him down in the half-time. Katie, though, while we're up here, it's a good opportunity to have a little look back over the squad we've got for tonight, just ahead of the game. It's growing ever closer to kick-off. The graphics coming up on your screen now for those of you watching, both the bench and the starting lineup. Any players, particularly standing out to you that have made an impression so far this season? Because if we look at that list, it is a mix between, new signings, existing players previously.
Yeah, I think probably the main two that stand out are probably the two new players that have come in terms of Finn Azaz and Bali Mumba. I think Mumba's been great as an outlet down that opposite flank to Joe Edwards. He often plays down that left-hand side. Occasionally they'll switch. And he definitely gives us that, energy going forwards. So he's been great, and I think Finn Azaz is another player who's played really well since he's come in. He's given us that extra little bit of quality in there, and I think it's taken some of the pressure off Danny Mayer to perform.
Yeah.
So I think those two have been really good additions to the squad, and looking forward to seeing them perform again tonight.
Yeah, and I think someone else who will probably be looking forward to seeing them perform is Roman. He has arrived. Roman, get over here. Join us. Welcome. You'll have to stand next to Katie because you two are doing mic sharing duty. Roman, we're so tall, we've got to try and fit you on the screen. We get nice and close. How are you this evening? Lovely
very good,
to see
thank you. Excited.
Yes. I bet. And we've been talking before, Katie and I, Michael Cooper's 100th league appearance this evening. As a fellow goalkeeper yourself, pretty good accolade, would you say?
Very good, yeah. Especially successive. Makes it even for someone that young. No, it's great. I was saying earlier, I just hope that we're going to get another 100 out of him, yeah.
Yeah, what kind of cap situation are we talking about for you in your time at Argyle? How many appearances? You must have got well into the hundreds.
Yeah, I had plenty. I've enjoyed most of them. In goal, you don't always enjoy them, funny enough. Sometimes Michael Cooper will know what I mean. But he's been doing great for us, and hopefully he will continue like this.
Mm-hmm. So obviously quite taken with Michael Cooper and his work. What do you make of the rest of the sides this season?
The results have been good. There's some striking results. The one at Derby. It's early days, but they're building good foundation. The problem is getting promoted. It's a really, really long race.
Yeah.
And it's very early, and they've done great. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's clear Argyle are obviously looking for promotion. You managed that twice during your time at Argyle. What is the secret?
I don't know. I don't think there is a secret. It's just chemistry in a team, a stadium, the fans. I can feel that since last year. I can feel there's something going here at the club, which is not really been the case since I can remember.
Yeah.
And I can feel that. So if they can carry on performing to that level, I think that's good. Yeah, I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful.
Katie, any ideas from you as to promotion tips?
Yeah.
What can they do?
It's tricky, isn't it? It's about consistency, really, and trying to build a side that can compete. And I think Schumacher's done that. They've shown that last season. They were unlucky to miss out on the playoffs last year. So hopefully we can go that one step further again this season and get into that top six. But it's about consistently performing well And like Roman said, we've started well, but we've got to keep building on that and looking to keep progressing to that next level.
And I mean, promotion to the championship, of course, is the dream. Roman, I can see you looking around at the stadium behind us. Argyle and Home Park, you know, they have got a top-class stadium here, haven't they? And it's befitting of a team to be promoted.
I always believe that as a player. As soon as I go for the contract, I could see that. I could see the club was a lot bigger than where it was. And I do believe that when you look at the stadium, you look at the size of the city, it is a club that belongs to the championship, but for some reason we've never managed to stay there.
Yeah.
We've managed to go there, stay a little bit, and then go down again. I've got the feeling like some things in behind the scenes are being done properly.
Yeah.
And that could help the one that are on the pitch doing it. And I'm hoping that I'm feeling the right thing. That's what I'm feeling when I'm here.
Yeah. And I mean, what do you make of the atmosphere here this evening as well? Because, you know, looking around, the stands are starting to fill up. We should be in for a pretty full house this evening. We've got the big screen now in the corner, the new grandstand, the floodlights are on. It's a perfect Tuesday night, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, as a player, we used to love those. There's just a different atmosphere on a Tuesday night. It's nice to play under the floodlights, which is something I'm very used to from France. We play a lot under floodlights. We don't play afternoon very much.
Yeah.
It's changed again, but no, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you look at the pitch looks absolutely amazing. Like it looks like it's so good. You just want to walk on it. Yeah. And they've got a little tag on their head now for having beaten Derby, and it's the first time they're going to put their neck on the line. Let's see. Let's see.
Now, Katie, quickly remind us from before we spoke about what you were hoping Argyle were going to bring this evening against Oxford. Just remind us now, Roman's here, what you're expecting, and then we'll see if your views line up.
Yeah, like I said, I think it'll be a tough game. Two sides that want to play football, two sides that look to create chances, look to be positive going forwards, and I think it'll be hopefully an end-to-end game with lots of attacking football on show.
And Roman, for yourself, what are you looking to see this evening? Are there any elements that, you know, looking at the Oxford United side, are there any kind of elements that you're picking out that Argyle need to be aware of?
Just keep the home form that they've started with, not conceding, winning, because that's what you need. I mean, to go up, you asked me earlier, you've got to be at home, you've got to be a fortress, you've got to be beating most teams.
Yeah.
If you only allow a few slip-ups out, it's actually easier to achieve that if you play for Plymouth, because people don't want to come here. So if you become good,
Really?
they come in here. Yeah, it's too far. They come in here, you'll fly in, and they just don't want to be here. They just want to get back on the bus, on to the next game. So they've started so well that if they can keep that going, people won't want to come here.
Yeah. And speaking as a goalkeeper, me and Katie discussed before how, you know, Oxford, you've got Brannigan here, scored 6 goals, I think, you know, in the past few games. Coming up against Mike Cooper, he's obviously going to want to continue his nice clean run here at Home Park. Is that something that's likely to be weighing on your mind as a goalie, or are you just match in hand as you go?
I think he would have complete trust in his defender. Sorry, in his defenders. And I don't think that would play too much on his head. That wouldn't have played on me. I would have just thinking, you need your defender, your midfield, and your striker to keep a clean sheet. You can't do it on your own.
Yeah.
So as long as you believe in your team, it doesn't really matter who turns up against you. They should be fine.
Dare you make a score prediction for this evening?
I did make one earlier.
Yeah? All right, go on then.
Unfortunately, I think they'll score, so I think we win 2-1.
Okay.
That's how I'm saying.
But a win is a win.
Oh yeah, 3 points is 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for running all the way up here and joining us in the gantry, Roman. Where are you going to be watching the match from? Over in the grandstand?
I think somewhere in the grandstand, yeah.
Perfect. Well, we'll leave you to it.
Nice
Thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you very much. Thank you, Katie, as well. Excellent mic skills. You can come back again.
Thank you.
I think we will maybe just have a little look back now at the side for Oxford. We had a little look at Argyle's squad just before Roman joined us, but it's just good to remind ourselves of the opposition as well, who will be very quickly running up on your screen there. Brannigan, number 8, of course, is one that Katie flagged previously to be aware of. Very good goal scorer for Oxford United at the moment, and one that is one to look for, but hopefully shouldn't be too much of a threat to Argyle's team who are on a little bit of a winning streak at the moment. Now, don't forget to get in touch with us in whatever way, shape or form that might be. We do love to hear from you, but we are rapidly approaching. In fact, we're on the 7:30 mark now, so it is about time that we hand over to the commentary box for the rest of the game. So with the action being just moments away, this is my opportunity to remind you that the game is live for you wherever you are in the world, and it's just £10 to buy the stream. Head to our website for all the details. That's Argyle TV or Argyle. Just give it a Google, you'll find it, pafc.com. And at halftime today, we will be finding out a little bit more about Argyle's new man, Sam Cosgrove. Stay tuned for that. But coming up next is the thing that we are all here for this evening. It is Plymouth Argyle against Oxford United. And we will be in the company of former Argyle defender Mark Edworthy and Charlie Price. Take it away.